Hi everyone, a very good evening to all of you. Welcome to this session on this new channel that is Unacademy Cat English. So I'm sure that many of you must have been watching us on the other channels of Unacademy. Now this is the channel that we specifically started for one single purpose, that all the classes that would be happening on this channel, the medium of instruction is going to be completely English, right? So we would not be using Hindi in these sessions. So for many of us, probably this might be a very useful thing, because I see that many students, complain it sometimes to us that, okay, we are not able to understand Hindi much because of being from a remote area where they do not have access to Hindi. So therefore, we thought of starting this. I'm sure that it is going to be useful for each one of you. Anyways, if I talk about the language used in the CAT exam as well, it's always in English. You do not have a bilingual paper over there as well. So even if the medium of instruction is in English, that's completely okay. So anyone preparing for CAT can join these sessions. So first of all, let me just talk about myself. Something has been written on the screen. So I am Saral Nashier, and I am a quant and LRDI instructor, and I've been teaching for last 20 years now, and I have been appearing in CAT in all these years as well. So everything about me has been written on the screen, and if you go to Unacademy to take subscription or for to watch any of the free videos there as well, you can use the code which is on your screen, Saral. Okay, so just to go to the app. So you just have to use this code. If you take subscription, you'll be getting some extra discounts by that. Otherwise, just to enter into it or to register, so you have to use this code. Now, before I start, a little bit about our Unacademy CAT scholarship test that we are going to have on June 9. It's clearly written over here at 12:30 p.m. and 5 p.m. The test is going to be of 60 minutes, and there are 30 questions in it, and you can win rewards of lakhs of rupees through this test. Not only that, of course, these scholarship tests are also meant for one other purpose, that is that by writing the scholarship test you will also get to know that where do you send vis-a-vis CAT exam, right? So what is your preparation level right now? So how many questions are you able to do in this much of time? Of course, that scholarship is also on your way if you write this exam, but there are some other things as well. You can do some good introspection about your preparation. Okay. Now, in these sessions, what are we going to discuss? Let me straight away come to the point. I am going to take a series of sessions in which I'm going to talk about the basics of data interpretation. So this is the series all about, and this is the very first session that we are having today. I'm sure that everyone knows about logical reasoning and data interpretation section, which is there in CAT as the second section of CAT. And generally, it is assumed to be the most difficult section in CAT. Now, you would say that why would we say LRD is difficult? Sometimes verbal might be difficult, sometimes quant might be difficult. So here, when I'm saying that it is considered to be one of the most difficult, the most difficult section, it is because preparing for LRDI, it is a Herculean task. It's a very difficult task. I mean, when you are preparing for quantitative aptitude, you already know what is happening. When you are preparing for verbal ability, you already know what is happening. You know what is to be studied, what is the syllabus that we have to do. You know about all those things. But the bigger problem with LRDI is generally we don't even get to know what is to be done in LRDI. I mean, after doing how many things, I would be sure that, okay, now I'm good at LRDI. Now I can deal with the questions of LRDI. So all those things make LRDI the toughest section in CAT. Okay. So there is a question for all of you in the chat box. So please answer that question as well. And I would also want some message from your side so that I know that how many of you are listening to me. Can you just say a hi, just a small hi through the chat box, so that I also get to know that what all people are there. And let's try to answer some of the questions as well throughout the class. If we make it a bit interactive, it will be good for both of us. We'll be having a good learning, right? So ultimately, the purpose is to learn data interpretation. We are starting with the basic terms, and we will be doing some questions as well today after learning these terms. Okay, I'm sure that I'm audible to all of you. Can you please write it in the chat box, guys? Is everything fine? Am I audible and visible? Just give a thumbs up or just say a hi so that I would know about that. I mean, that much would suffice for me to know that yes, everything is going fine. Just one thing, guys. So we are starting with the basic terms of it right now. What are some of the basic terms? We'll be talking about them one by one, but you see a table on your screen. I have just taken this table, which is representing the number of students in some of the years, as you see 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, right? And all. So number of students in all these years. Oh, I see some highs here. Hi, Sonia Gupta. Hello, Akash Deep, Latasha. All clear. So actually that poll was there because of which I was not able to see behind that. So I have made a table here, 2005 to 2011. That makes it 7 years. So what is the number of students in all these 7 years that is given to you in the table? Of course, I'm starting with the very basic thing. Slowly we'll be doing some good questions as well. So what are those basic terms that they ask you in data interpretation? First thing first, the growth rate. So what is growth rate? What kind of question would be asked to you in terms of growth rate? For example, if I ask you, what is the growth rate in the number of students from 2005 to 2006, right? What is the percentage growth? That percentage growth is also called growth rate sometimes. So what is the percentage growth, right, in the number of students from 2005 to 2006? Of course, you see that there is no growth over there. I see that from 2005 to 2006, actually the number has decreased. So here he would not be asking you growth rate. Here he would be asking you the decline rate. What is the rate of decline on the number of students from 2005 to 2006? In such a question, he would be asking you the rate of decline. When I say the rate of increase is called growth rate. And when I say the rate of decrease is called decline rate. Rate of increase is called the growth rate and rate of decrease is called the decline rate. So from 2005 to 2006, he would be asking you about the rate of decline, and that rate of decline would be given by how much? It's always given by the final value minus initial value upon initial value into 100. But here the final value is 150, initial value is 200, divided by 200 into 100, that gives me 50 by 200 or 25%, but this 25% is negative. Okay, this 25% is negative. I already see that Sakshi Singh and Dead Killer, they both have answered as minus 25%. Is minus 25% the answer or 25% is the answer? Now, is a very important point here. If the question is asking you what is the growth rate from 2005 to 2006, you will say the growth rate is minus 25%. But if the question asks you what is the decline rate from 2005 to 2006, it would be plus 25%. Because when he says what is the decline rate, he is automatically assuming that it is decreasing. It is automatically assuming that it is decreasing. So when it says the decline rate would be called as 25% because the word decline has already told you that it is decreasing. But if the question is asking you growth rate and you are getting a decline, so rather than saying 25%, you would say minus 25, you would say that growth is actually minus 25, which is a negative growth. And negative growth is another name of decline. That's what growth rate is. The simple formula is final value minus initial value upon initial value into 100. Final value minus initial value upon initial value into 100, right? If this comes out to be negative, that's automatically decline. If the question is asking you decline, give the positive value as the answer. If the question is asking you about the growth, then give the negative value as the answer to tell them that boss, there is no growth, there is a negative growth, which is also called a decrease. So decline and decrease are the same thing. Decline rate or the percentage decrease, they are the same thing. And when I say growth rate or percentage increase, they are again exactly the same thing. These are the two things first. Now, second concept. The second concept is the concept of average annual growth rate. Average annual growth rate. For example, if I ask you what is the average annual growth rate from 2005 to 2009? What is the average annual growth rate from 2005 to 2009? So from 2005 to 2009, what is the average annual growth rate for that? When I say from 2005 to 2009, this value of 2009 becomes my final value. This value of 2005 becomes my initial value. Formula remains the same. Final value minus initial value upon initial value into 100. So what is the final value? It is 360. What is the initial value? It is 200 divided by initial value, which is 200 into 100. It comes out to be 180 by 200, that is 80%, right? This 80% is the growth rate from 2005 to 2009. Once again, pay attention. 80% is the growth rate from 2005 to 2009. But question is saying average growth rate, and that too annual. So average is what? Sum of the numbers divided by number of numbers. But here he says average annual. That average is also to be calculated per year. So how many years are there? Now from 2005 to 2009, if you look at the number of years, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So should I divide 80 by 5 and get 16% as the average annual growth rate? The answer is no, right? When I am talking about a growth rate or decline rate, growth rate or decline rate or percentage increase or percentage decrease, from 1 year to second year, there is one such percentage change. From second year to third year, there is another such percentage change. From third year to fourth year, there is another such percentage change. And from fourth year to fifth year, there is another such percentage change. So though the number of years is 5, but actually the number of years of growth rate is 4. And my answer is not 16%. My answer is 20%. I see that Sakshi and Pratik, they both had got 16%. But Sakshi and Pratik, I hope you got the idea now. Because it's a very common mistake, so therefore only I discussed it with you. That's a very common thing people feel, that from 2005 to 2009, if I start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 years are there. So let's divide it by 5. So just keep it in mind. I am asking you the average annual growth rate. So 1 year to second year is one growth rate, second to third is second growth rate, third to fourth is third growth rate, and fourth to fifth is fourth growth rate. So growth rates are 5 only. If the question was asking me, if the question was asking me that what is the average number of students from 2005 to 2009, again listen to it carefully. What is the average number of students from 2005 to 2009? What would I do? I will add all of them. 200 plus 150, 350 plus 250, 600 plus 300, 900 plus 360 is 1260. Then I will divide it by 5. Because question is not asking me growth rate or decline rate or percentage increase or percentage decrease, right? Growth is from 1 year to second year. But when the question is asking you the average number of students, in that case, I just have to calculate number of students in first year, second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year, and I have to divide it by 5 to give me the answer as 1260 divided by 5 or 252. Sakshi is saying, sir, again that 4 wala point. Sakshi, yes, I'll repeat once again. When I'm saying Sakshi, let us assume what is the growth rate from 2005 to 2006. A few moments ago, when I calculated the decline rate from 2005 to 2006, we got 25%, right, Sakshi? But did we divide by 2? Because 2005 and 2006 are 2 years? No, because between 2 years, decline is once. Similarly, had I been asking you what is the average decline rate from 2005 to 2007? From 2005 to 2007, the years are 3, but the change is happening twice, from 5 to 6 and from 6 to 7. Similarly, from 2005 to 2009, though the number of years is equal to 5, but change is happening 4 times. So therefore, you divide by 4 and it gives you 20%. Now, in this case, some of you might have this question as well. Sir, when you talked about 2005 to 2009, how can you say there is an average increase of 20%? Because from 2005 to 6, there was a decrease. From 2006 to 7, there was an increase. So sometimes it is increase, sometimes it is decrease. How are you calling it 20% average growth rate? So just keep it in mind. When the question is asking you the average annual growth rate, you are only concerned about the initial value and the final value. What values are there in the middle is completely irrelevant for you. So what happened in 2006, 7, 8 is irrelevant for me. For me, what matters from 2005 to 2009, the percentage growth rate divided by the number of gap years, that gives me the answer as 20%. I am assuming that everyone has understood this point as well. Please do let me know through the chat box. As Sakshi said that she has understood. Others also, I'm sure it is clear now. I'll move ahead then to the next point. The next point is simple annual growth rate. There is one called simple annual growth rate and there is another term called compounded annual growth rate. What is simple annual growth rate? Popularly also known as SAGR. And what is compounded annual growth rate? Popularly also known as CAGR. SAGR and CAGR. So what is SAGR? SAGR is something like, you can say, simple interest is just like simple annual growth rate. Compound interest is just like compounded annual growth rate. Let me just give you an example for this. Let us say the question is asking you, what is the simple annual growth rate from 2000, say 7 to 2010? Simple annual growth rate from 2007 to 2010. And what is the compounded annual growth rate from 2007 to 2010? How do we calculate these two things? If I have to calculate this simple annual growth rate from 7 to 10, just consider it this way. The figure of 2007 is your principal. The figure of 2010 is your amount. You just have to calculate the percentage rate from here. Of course, the time is 3 years. 1, 2, and 3. So time is 3 years. So in 3 years, that is time. Principal is 250. Amount is 400. How do you calculate the rate? I'm sure you all remember, in case of simple interest, first of all, we calculate the interest. Interest would be 400 minus 250. In case of these figures, you would say it is the percentage, sorry, it is the increase. But in case of simple interest, we call it interest. So 400 minus 250, that is 150. And there is a formula for simple interest. I hope you all remember, P into R into T divided by 100. So P is 250 into R, which we have to calculate, into T is 3 divided by 100. From here, whatever value of R you would get, this would be called the simple annual growth rate. This would be called simple annual growth rate. So 52s are 100, 55s are 5, 30s are 50, I get 3, 10s are 30. R comes out to be 2 into 10, that is 20. So you can say the percentage rate or simple annual growth rate or SAGR is equal to 20%. Have you all understood this? Please tell me very fast, then I'll move ahead from here. Is it absolutely clear? The simple annual growth rate. Have you all understood this point? Yes, I am assuming that you have understood. Yes, Sakshi, it was 20%. The same case of compounded annual growth rates. How would I calculate that? Let's try to do that. For compounded annual growth rate, let me just remove some of the figures from here so that I have space to write these things. Let me just do it. So for compounded annual growth rate, how do I calculate it? Just look at this. The principal is 250, the amount is 400. So amount is equal to principal into 1 plus r by 100 raised to the power time period, which is 3. If you guys have already studied simple interest, compound interest, I'm sure you would remember this part. In case of compound interest, the formula says amount is equal to principal into 1 plus r by 100 raised to the power n, where r is the number of time periods, right? In case of simple interest, the formula is not for amount. In case of simple interest, the formula is for interest. Therefore, in case of SAGR, I calculated it on 150, that was 400 minus 250. But for CAGR, I would be calculating it on 400 itself. So Pratik Akashdeep also saying clear, Shruti is also saying clear. Average annual growth rate and SAGR will always be the same, right? Absolutely right, Tanishq. You are absolutely correct. Actually, SAGR is just another name of average annual growth rate. SAGR is just another name of average annual growth rate. But in case of compound interest, you can cancel it out from 50, 55 za, 58 za, 8 by 5 is 1.6. 1.6 is equal to 1 plus r by 100 raised to the power 3. From here, whatever value of r you would get, you'll get the answer. But I'm sure you would all remember this, that when I talk about compound interest, actually it is not that easy to calculate. You would be saying, how would we calculate it further? That's right. It's not easy to calculate because you have to calculate the cube root of 1.6 first. After calculating the cube root of 1.6, you will subtract 1 from that and then you'll multiply by 100 to get the value of r. But this is the only way of calculating it. Therefore, most of the times the exams will not be asking you questions based upon CAGR. Most of the times the questions asked to you would be based upon SAGR or average annual growth rate. These are the kind of questions that they would be asking. So these are the four basic terms which will be used many times in questions of DI. Therefore, I wanted to discuss them first before discussing some of the questions, the basic questions which are based upon DI. So after this, we'll be discussing some basic questions. And today, whatever questions I am taking, they are all based upon tables. In the next class, I would be taking questions upon line graph. Then next time I'll be taking pie chart. Then I would be taking questions based upon bar graphs as well and some mixed graphs as well. That all I'm going to do in these series of sessions. Okay. I'm sure absolutely clear to everyone. Yes, Sakshi, I forgot that. So I didn't know that you would always be actually checking me. So what am I doing? I forgot that. So I'll put some copper plating on this next time. Though I know what you are talking about. You're talking about a pure copper glass. Okay. So, yes, Shruti says it is understood. I'm sure it is understood to others as well. And if you are not a part of my Telegram channel as well, so please go to Saral Nashier underscore Unacademy channel. And you also have a cat discussion group by the name of Saral Nashier Unacademy Cat Discussion. So, by this name, you'll find the discussion group as well. So, join me on Telegram there too. So let's discuss first set first to understand these things better now. Let's try to use them in some of the questions. Here is a question. I would want to see how many of you can answer this fast. I'll be doing some practice sets now. Here is the first one. Try to answer this question first. Over the period January to May, which of the four service sectors, that is travel, transportation, labor, and insurance, has shown the least percentage growth in their exports? Okay, percentage growth or growth percentage or growth rate or percentage increase, these are all synonyms. They are all the same. Percentage growth, growth percentage, growth rate, or percentage increase or increase percentage, one or the same thing. All of them are exactly the same. Any answer? Can I expect any answer from you guys before we start discussing? Let's have a look at this. Over the period January to May, which of the four service sectors, that is travel, transportation, labor, and insurance, has shown the least percentage growth in their exports? So, first of all, over the period from January to May, who has shown the least percentage growth in their exports? So, if I talk about travel, what is the percentage growth they have shown from January to May? Transportation, what is the percentage growth they have shown from here to here? Labor, what is the percentage growth they have shown from here to here? And insurance, what is the percentage growth they have shown from here to here? And he is not asking about average annual percentage growth. He's only talking about the percentage growth. He's not talking about average. He's talking about percentage growth. Who is giving you the least percentage growth? That's what the question is asking. In case of travel, that is the first option. In case of first option, the increase is 0.9 to 2.0, that is final value minus initial value, 2.0 minus 0.9 upon initial value, that is 0.9. So this comes out to be 1.1 upon 0.9 or 11 by 9. Of course, we can write it in terms of percentages as well, but let's calculate it for transportation as well. For transportation 1.1 to 1.6, there is an increase of 1.6 minus 1.1 upon 1.1. Of course, I will have to multiply them by 100 to calculate percentage. So this will become 0.5 upon 1.1 into 100 or 5 by 11 into 100. Let's come to the third one. The third one says 0.6 to 1.8. So it is 1.8 minus 0.6 final value minus initial value upon initial value into 100, which is 1.2 divided by 0.6 into 100, or you can say 12 by 6 into 100. And finally, in the fourth one, 2 to 2.6. It is 2.6 minus 2.0 upon 2.0 into 100, and that gives me 0.6 upon 2.0 into 100, or you can say it is 6 divided by 20 into 100. So which one of them is the least? Akashdeep is saying transportation, Pratik is saying fourth option, and Sakshi is saying transportation, Sonia says transportation, Vicky says transportation, Tanishka is saying insurance. Let's see. So 11 by 9 is more than 1, right? 12 by 6 is more than 1. If two of the values are more than 1, other two values are less than 1, of course, the least one cannot be the one with a value more than 1. 11 by 9 is already more than 1. 12 by 6 is already more than 1. How can they be the least? 5 by 11 is less than 1. 6 by 20 is less than 1. Now 5 by 11. 5 by 11 is something like 1 upon 2.2. 6 by 20, it is something like 1 upon 3.3. Now out of 1 upon 2.2 and out of 1 upon 3.3, which one is smaller? Of course 1 upon 3.3 is smaller. Bigger the denominator, smaller is the value. So therefore the value which is the smallest among them is insurance. The correct answer for this question is option 4, which was rightly answered by Pratik first and then Tanishk. But how come four of you got transportation? Akash, Sakshi, Sonia, Vicky, what did you do? I mean, how did you get the wrong answer in this case? Possibly you guys got the wrong answer because you did not check percentage. Possibly you guys saw that 0.5 is least. In case of travel, the difference is 1.1. In case of transportation, it is 0.5. In case of labor, it is 1.2. And in case of insurance, it is 0.6. Now, out of these, of course, smallest is 0.5, but the base of 0.5 was also 1.1, whereas base of 0.6 was 2.0. The smallest was insurance among them. I'm sure it is clear, guys, right? calculate roughly. That's why we don't have to calculate actually these values. It was pretty much clear that two of the values were anyways going more than one. And out of the other two values in one, the denominator was almost double. In one, it was more than triple. So when the denominator is more than triple, that's going to be smaller for sure. And that's how we get the answer. Let's move to question number two, guys. Let's see how many of you answered this correctly. Please try this as well. That's question number two for all of you. What is the right answer for question number two? Let's try that as well. What is the growth rate of total exports of four sectors considered together in the time period February to April? Once again, we have to calculate the growth rate of the total exports of four sectors. This time we have to add the exports of all four sectors. And then we have to find the growth rate from February to April. It's from February to April. I have to calculate that growth rate. Let's start doing it. So first of all, what is the total export in February month? Add them. 1.4 plus zero point 0.9, that is 2.3, plus 0 0.9, that is 3.2, plus 1.2, that is 4.4. What is the total export in May? It is 2.0 plus 1.6, that is 3.6, plus 1.8 is 5.4, plus 2.6, that is 8.0. Question is asking you the percentage growth. I'm sure you guys must have understood the percentage growth from 4.4 to 8.0 is as good as the percentage growth from 44 to 80. Why to keep taking decimals? I mean, that unnecessarily makes my job a little difficult. So I have to find out the percentage growth from 44 to 80. Once again, final value minus initial value upon initial value into 100. So 80 minus 44 is 36. 36 by 44 into 100. So 4 9s are 36, 4 11s are. If you have done fractions well, I'm sure you would know the answer of this question. So 9 by 11 into 100. And 9 by 11 into 100 would be the right answer. That is 1.81. I think I made some mistake. Let me check it again. 2.0 plus 1.6, 2.0 plus 1.6 is 3.6. 3.6 plus 1.8, 3.6 plus 1.8 is 5.4. And 5.4 plus 2.6, 5.4 plus 2.6, it is 8.0. It looks okay. 1.4 plus zero point 0.9, it is 2.3. 2.3 plus 0, oh God, it was asking for April. I calculated for May. Right? Oh, yes. I just saw your messages, guys. So, yes, Sonia, Prateek, Sakshi, everyone is saying it was April. I missed it. I'm thinking that why did I got it wrong? Anyways, let's do it. 2.5 plus 1.1 is 3.6. 3.6 plus 2.1 is equal to 5.7. And 5.7 plus 2.8, that is equal to 8.5. So it was actually 85, not 80. That was 44 upon 44 into 100. That comes out to be 41 divided by 44 into 100. It is 41 by 44 into 100. Now, what percentage is 41 out of 44? It's pretty much clear it is more than 90%. This is not the answer. This is not the answer. This is not the answer. And it is not almost 100%. 99.99 is as good as 100%. So they are not equal. So even this is not my answer. By that logic, I can say straight away the correct answer is option 4 for this question. That's right, guys. I hope you understood. So somehow we calculated the other value as well, but I'm sure that now you must have understood. Rather, you would have got an idea that this guy does not do these questions at home. He got the wrong answer. He's checking in the options, did not get it, and then he tried it again. Otherwise, I would have figured it out, right? I would have immediately figured it out while calculating. Yeah, when I was doing it at home, I got 8.5, but here I'm getting 8.0. How is that possible, right? So actually, I see these questions, but sometimes I feel that if you take the questions absolutely afresh, so students would also get a perspective that, okay, how do we deal with the question? How do we go ahead with it? So those kind of things I always take care of. Let's move ahead to question number three. Question number three on your screen. Can we have some answers here as well? I would also request all of you to please like the session as well. That's the only fee that you have to pay for these sessions. That's pressing the like button, nothing else. And once again, for all the newcomers, if you want to join me on my Telegram channel, the channel name is Saral Nashier _ Unacademy. You can join me there, or the group name where we discuss questions is Saral Nashier Unacademy Cat Discussion Group. So you can join me there too. If you are taking any subscription on Academy, you just have to use the code SARAL for maximum possible discounts. It's SARAL. Let's start doing question number 3 now. What does it say? It says over the entire 5 months, January to May. He's talking about all 5 months now. By what percentage is the total export of labor services is lesser than the total export of travel services? Total export of labor services. 0.6 plus 0.9, that is 1.5, plus 1.4, that is 2.9. 2.9 plus 2.1 is 5. 5 plus 1.8 is $6.8 billion. Whereas for travel sectors, it is 0.9 plus 1.4, that is 2.3. 2.3 plus 2.2 is 4.5. 4.5 plus 2.5 is 7. And 7 plus 2.0 is 9. So it is 9.0. And question is asking you that this 6.8, that is this value, it is how much lesser than this value, which is 9.0. It's kind of, the question is asking you that 68 is how much percentage less than 90. 68 is how much percentage less than 90. Final value minus initial value upon initial value into 100, that we generally used to do when he used to ask us from this period to this period, what is the percentage decrease or increase. This is kind of a question of percentages, right? And in case of percentages, I'm sure you all remember, whatever is written after then, that is called the base. That's the number on which this percentage has to be calculated. So the difference between 68 and 90 is 22, and this difference has to be calculated on a base of 90, because then after then we have 90. So 22 divided by 90 into 100. So 22 by 90 into 100 is as good as, what percentage is it? See, 100 by 90 is slightly more than 1. So my answer is going to be slightly more than 22. So this is not my answer, this is not my answer, this is not my answer. And it is not 22.22, because 100 by 90 is not approximately 1, right? It's much more than 1. So even this is not my answer. The correct answer is 24.44%. Of course, we can calculate them as well. I can say it is 220 divided by 9. And by dividing also, I can get it. But many a times, these calculations are not needed. If you just look at the options, you would be easily able to eliminate some of the options and say that, okay, this has to be the answer. That becomes pretty clear. I think we must have talked about this before as well, that CAT is not an exam which will be asking you questions where high calculations are being used. They never do that. So you don't have to worry about it. Yes, Pratik, 24.44%. Yes, Sakshi, that's great. Let's move ahead from here to the next question. Question number 4 on your screen. It's here and it is the second set now. Just read it first. Read it first and then we'll move ahead from here. The table below shows the number of people who responded to a survey about their favorite style of music. Use this information to answer the following questions to the nearest whole percentage. So in the age bracket of 15 to 20, how many people like classical, pop, rock, jazz, blues, hip hop, ambient? How many people like these? In the age bracket of 21 to 30, how many people like these? And in the age bracket of 31 plus, how many people like these? That all is given to you on this page. Of course, this table would be available to you later on as well. So it's telling you that you have to find out the answer in the nearest whole percentage. Here is the first question for all of you. What percentage of respondents under 31 indicated that blues is their favorite style of music? What percentage of respondents under 31 indicated that blues is their favorite style of music? First of all, what is the number of respondents under 31? These are all the people who are above 31. So these would be all the people who are under 31. These are 15 to 20. These are 21 to 30. Of course, all of them are under 31. So how many people are there? The number of respondents. The number of respondents will be given by 33 plus 33. That is equal to 66. The number of respondents is 66. What percentage of them are saying that blues is our favorite? So how many of them have blues as their favorite? 2 plus 3, that is equal to 5. So I have to find out that 5 as a percentage of 66. How much would it be? 5 as a percentage of 66. What percentage would it be? This is what the question is asking us. I hope this is absolutely clear, guys. 5 as a percentage of 66 is definitely going to be the right answer for us. Let's see what right answer would be there. My point is 33 twos are 66, and can I say 33 threes are is approximately 100? Of course not, but very close to that. Now 5 threes are 15, and 15 by 2 is giving me 7.5. Can I say my answer should be very close to 7.5, and the option which is close to 7.5 is B? That's my answer. See how easily we are able to calculate that just because of the options, though this time the options were not that far. 7.1, 7.6, 8.3 are not that far. But a little bit of knowledge about fractional equivalents or percentages would have worked for you. We all know that 1 by 3 is 33.33%. That is 100 by 3 is 33.33. 100 by 3 is 33.33, and 66 by 3 is 2. So probably if I calculate 66 by 33 and 100 by 33, 66 is exactly 2 times. 100 would be 3.0 something times. That much, I mean, the margin of error we have because of our options. So 5 into 3.0 something will be 15 point something, 0 something. And that divided by 2 would be 7.5 something. 7.5 something will be very close to 7.6. By that logic, we got the answer as B. I'm sure, guys, this is also clear to everyone. I'll move ahead from here to question number 5 then. Question number 5 is here on your screen. Can I get an answer from your side before we start discussing that? Here we have question number 5. Please try that once. Try to give me the answer for that. Can I get an answer from you? What percentage of respondents aged 21 to 30 indicated a favorite style other than rock music? Let's do it. The percentage of respondents aged 21 to 30, that means he's saying just watch into this column. And in this column, how many of them have a favorite style other than rock? Right? How many people are there in this column? I have 33 people. How many of them have a style of rock? That is 12. So 12 people have a style of rock. So how many people have a style other than rock? That is 33 minus 12, which is 21. Of course, you can add 4, 5, 4, 3, 3, 2. That will come out to be 21, right? 21 people are there who have a style other than rock. Question is asking their percentage out of total. So 21 out of total 33. So 3 sevens are 21, 3 elevens are 33. I get 7 by 11. If anyone here has done fractional equivalents of percentages, they would know that 1 by 11 is 9.09%. So 7 times of that is 63.63%. Even if you do not know, I am sure you must have seen that chart that I shared with you guys today on the Telegram channel. Whoever is on my Telegram channel, they would know about it. Today only I shared a chart which has all the percentage equivalents of fractions, all the squares, all the cubes which are important for us, right? So if you have done that, you would be knowing that 1 by 11 is 9.09. So 7 by 11 is 63.63. Even in our class, we discussed it, right? That 1 by 11 is 9.09. That 11 has got all 9s in it, and 1 by 9 has got all 11s in it. So this also we have done. I'll move ahead from here from question number 5. Let's move ahead to question number 6 then. Here is question number 6 for all guys. Give me the answer for question number 6 now. For the previous question, I see everyone has answered correctly. Tanishk, Sri Harsha, Prateek, Sakshi, Sonia. That's great, guys. Very good to see that. What is the right answer for this question number 6 now? Try to do this as well. What percentage of the total sample indicated that jazz is their favorite style of music? What percentage of the total sample indicated that jazz is their favorite style of music? Okay, Prateek has got the answer as 12%. That's good to see and pretty fast as well, Prateek. Very good. Tanishk also got the answer as option D, which is 12% once again. Very good, guys. Good, Prateek and Tanishk. I'm sure very soon Sri Harsha, Sakshi, Sonia, they would also be coming up with their answers. Latasha has answered as D. Very good, Latasha. Brilliant. Let's do it, guys. It says what percentage of the total sample indicated that jazz is their favorite style of music? The total sample is of 68 plus 33 plus 33 people. That is equal to 134 people. Is that right, guys? The total sample is this plus this plus this. It is of 33 plus 33 plus 68. 134 people are there with the total, right? Yes, Sri Harsha got the answer as D. Akash Deep is also there getting the great, guys. Very good. So 134 is the total sample. And he says, what percentage of this total sample indicated that jazz is their favorite style of music? So jazz is the favorite style of music for how many people? It is 11 plus 4, 15 plus 1, 16. So 16 as a percentage of 134 we have calculated. Now it is definitely more than 10%. 10% of 134 is 13.4. So it is more than 10%. These two are gone. It is less than 20%. This is also gone. The correct answer is option D for it. 12% is the right answer. Sakshi has exactly calculated 11.94. The right answer is option D, which is 12%. Okay. And I would also request all of you to please subscribe to this channel as well. This is a different channel, right? There is one Unacademy Cat channel and there is one this Unacademy Cat English channel. On this channel, whatever sessions we are going to take, they are going to be completely in English. So for many of us, this was a requirement that we want sessions completely in English. The sessions we take on the other channel, they are in Hindi plus English. They are generally bilingual. Always they're bilingual. But here the sessions that we are going to take, they would be completely in English. So please do subscribe to this channel so that you will keep on getting to know that whenever we are having these sessions. So does Snap ask these type of DI sets? Absolutely, these kind of sets they do ask, Sri Harsha, right? Because Snap is a speed-based exam. It's a just 60 minutes paper. In 60 minutes, you have to do 60 questions. So it's a speed exam. In a speed exam, they would not be asking you very difficult questions. Generally, they ask you easy questions only. Okay, let's move ahead to practice set 3 now. Practice set 3 is here in which you have to answer the questions in a different way as I have written. Only X is true, only Y is true, both X and Y are true, none of them is true. Mark option A as the answer. If only X is true, mark Y. If only Y is, mark B if only Y is true. If both are true, then mark C. If none is true, mark D. And this is the table that you have to use. I'll be showing you the question on the next page. The following chart represents the data collected for an online job portal, jobs.com. For each question, there are two statements, each of which could be either true or false. So now I'll be showing you some questions one by one in which two statements are going to be there after the question. You have to find out that how many of them are true. Okay, this A, B, C, D options possibly would not be there on the upcoming pages. So please just take a screenshot of that if you want to, or if you can just memorize it, it's okay. I mean, it's a small thing. That if X is true, then A, Y is true, then B, both are true, C, none is true, D. Let's do it. Here is the first question for all. Oh, yes, I have already put them here. So this is statement X, this is statement Y, and you have to tell me that whether X is true or Y is true or both are true or none is true. What is your answer for this question? Okay, Tanishk has got the answer as A. Can we get any other answer before we start discussing this? Sonia Gupta has got the answer as C. That's great to see. Two answers are already there, A and C. Latasha also has got the answer as C. So let's have a look at this now. It says the percentage increase. So first the statement X is the percentage increase in the number of registrations from 4 to 5 is higher for managerial candidates than the technical candidates. Okay. So what is the percentage increase from 2004 to 2005 for managerial candidates? First calculate it. So managerial candidates in 2004 were 19,236 and in 2005 they were 45,292. So they increased from 19,236 to 45,292. And what is the percentage increase in technical candidates? They were 61,205 and then they were 63,298. It is pretty much visible that for managerial candidates, the number is getting more than doubled. The percentage increase is more than 100%. What is the point of calculating it completely? It is pretty much clear for managerial candidates, it is more than 100. For the other one, it is even less than 10%. Of course, for managerial candidates, it is higher. So this statement is true. Statement X is true according to us. Let's check statement Y as well now. Sakshi also got C, but Pratik is saying A. So two people are saying only X is true. Three people are saying both are true. Let's check it now. The overall registration have grown by more than 25%. Okay, let's find out the overall registration. The overall registration in 2004 is there some, and in 2005 is there some, right? Let's add them. 6 plus 5, 11, 1 is there, 1 carry over, 3 plus 1 that is 4, 2 plus 2 that is 4, 9 plus 1 that is 10, 6 plus 1 plus 7 is 80. And next year it is 8 plus 2, 10, 9 plus 9, 18 plus 1, 19, 2 to 4 plus 1, 5, 5 plus 3, 8, and 6 plus 4 is 10. I am saying, had it been 80,000, had it been 80,000, 80,441 is just like 80,000. And if it is increased by 25%, the figure on that side would become 100,000. That is a lakhs. But it is 1 lakh 8,000. It's much more than that. So definitely even this statement is correct. My answer is option C, that both statements are true. Right? I'm saying that 80,441 is pretty close to 80,000. But 108590, it's not pretty close to 1 lakh. It is 8590, more than 1 lakh. So even if they were 80,000 and 1 lakh, there would have been 25% growth. But the right hand side is much larger than 1 lakh. That means definitely it has grown by more than 25%. I can say option C is the right answer for this question. Got it, guys? I'm sure it is clear to everyone. I'll move ahead then to the next question. Question number 8 for all of you. Let's try this as well and give me the answer. Here we have question number 8 now. The percentage of dropouts, and he has defined dropouts, had decreased from 2004 to 2005 for managerial category. And second statement says the percentage of dropouts was higher for technical than for managerial category in 2005. Which is true, which is not true, that we have to figure out now. Can I see any answer before I start discussing it? I'll just wait for your answer, guys, before I started doing it by myself. Okay, let's start doing it then. The percentage of dropouts. Pratik has given the answer as A though. The percentage of dropouts from registration stage to posting CVs. So you see the first column is number of registrations, but out of those, the number of people who are posting their CVs, they are slightly less. So the number of people in between this, that's called a dropout. I mean, 61,205 people, they registered for technical category in 2004, but only 59,981 people posted their CVs. What about the remaining 1,224 people? Where did they go? Those people are called the dropouts, right? So Pratik got the answer as A, Sakshi got B, Tanishk got C, we got A, B, C. This time that means the question is worth doing then. So percentage of dropouts had decreased from 4 to 5 for managerial category. Let's try to figure out it for the managerial category. What is the dropout here? 19,236 minus 15,389. So let's try to calculate this. 19,236 minus 15,389. 6 ka 16, 16 minus 9 is 7. 3 ka 2, 2 ka 12, 12 minus 8 is 4. 2 का 1, 1 का 11, 11 minus 3 is 8, और 19 का 14, 14 minus, sorry, 18, 18 minus 15 is 3. So the difference between these two number comes out to be 3847, right? But this is the number of dropouts. It is not the percentage of dropouts. Question says the percentage of dropouts. So what will be the percentage of dropouts? 3847 people dropped out of 19,236. I need not calculate this. Let's first calculate for 2005 as well. There is a possibility just by looking at those fractions, I might be able to calculate whether this is higher or not. Why to completely calculate it? Let's do it for the other year as well. When I talk about the other year, that is 2005, for managerial candidates, it was 45,292 and it became 40763. So let's try to calculate that as well. 40763 minus, sorry, 45, let me just erase it. 45292 minus 40763. So 2 becomes 12, 12 minus 3 is 9, 9 becomes 8, 8 minus 6 is 2, 2 becomes 12, 12 minus 7 is 5, 5 becomes 4. So I have 4529. So in the second year, there is a dropout of 4529 out of 45,292. See, as I said before, there is no need to calculate it completely. Why there is no need? It's pretty much clear. Just look at this. The number of candidates have more than doubled, but the dropouts, they have not doubled. They have just increased by 20-30%. So number of people has doubled, but the number of dropouts have increased slightly. Can I say the percentage of dropouts must have decreased then? Isn't it very clear? The numerator has not increased much, but the denominator has increased a lot. When the denominator increases a lot, the value decreases. That means it must have decreased from 2004 to 2005. That's exactly what the statement is saying. This means the first statement is a true statement. Statement X is a true statement. I'm sure you all got this point. Statement X is a true statement according to this. Let's try statement Y now. What does statement Y says? Y say? The percentage of dropouts was higher for technical than for managerial in 2005. The percentage of dropouts for managerial is this in 2005. Question says that for technical it was higher. See, can I say it is approximately 10%? Rather, it is exactly 10%. 45292. 10% of that is 4529.2. So it is almost 10%. It's like, I mean, 9.9999% type, right? So it's approximately 10%. So that we have already calculated. The percentage of dropout for technical also we have to calculate. What is the percentage of dropout for technical? 63,298 people, they have become 60,133. Just look at this. Has it decreased by 10%? 63,298. 10% of that would be around 6,300. Has it decreased by 6,300? No, it has just decreased by 3,000. Right? It has not decreased by 6,300. That means it is much lower than that. But question says the percentage of dropouts was higher for technical. No, it was not higher. It was lower for technical. That means this second statement is false. First is true, second is false. My answer is option A for this question. Please tell me, is this understood or not? Somehow I feel that in these questions you need not do much of calculations. Just by looking at the numbers, probably we could have calculated, because it was visible that one is around 10%, the other one is pretty much far from that, right? It was even lesser than 5%. So that much of difference is there, then things become easy. Things would become difficult when we have, I mean, numbers which are very close to each other. These are pretty far. I don't think there would be a problem. Okay, guys, I'll move ahead then to the next question. Question number 9 of the day. Here is question number 9, after which we'll be doing the last question. So please try this. Here we have question number 9 now. The success rate of candidates getting shortlisted based on CVs is higher for managerial category than for technical category in 2005. Is it right or wrong? And the success rate of candidates getting shortlisted based on CVs for managerial category in 2005 than in 2004. So is this true or not? These are the two statements that we have to find out. We have to use this table and try to approximate things that might make your job a little easy. Always try to do that. And do not follow, I mean, forget to subscribe to this channel. We have to make this channel big, right? It is still in the toddler stage. We just started this. All classes on this channel are going to be in complete English. Tanishk says B. Sakshi Singh is also getting B. That's great, guys. That's fast as well. Let's start doing it. It says the success rate of candidates getting shortlisted based on CVs, right? Shortlisted based on CVs. These are the number of CVs. These are the number of people shortlisted. So this is the success rate, that how many people were shortlisted vis-a-vis how many people were how many people posted their CVs. He says this success rate is higher for managerial category than for technical category in 2005. What is the success rate for managerial category in 2005? Out of 40,763 people, 399 people were selected. That means it was 399 out of 40,763, right? Whereas for technical it was 637 out of 60133 in 200. Can I say it is slightly less than 10%? Because, sorry, 1%. 1% of this number is 407.63. 1% of the number is 407.63. 399 is less than that. That means this value is less than 1%. Whereas this value is greater than 1%, isn't that? Because 1% of 60133 is 601.33 and it is more than that. So first figure is less than 1, second figure is greater than 1. So I cannot say that for managerial category it is higher than technical category. This is wrong. It is not higher, it is lower. First statement is false according to this. First statement is false according to this. So Tanishk and Sakshi already had got B, which is, I mean, in sync with that. Though Sonia Gupta, you are saying A, which means X is true. I don't think that X is true. Just check it again once. Look at the second statement. The success rate of candidates getting shortlisted based on CVs is better for managerial category in 2005, which is, we have already calculated, it is less than 1%. He says it is better than in 2004. What was their success rate in 2004? It was 138 out of 15389. So even this is less than 1%. Now the question is, out of this and out of this, actually which one is better? The point here is 1% of this number is 407. 407 is pretty close to 399. Whereas 1% of this number is 153 and 138 is much lower than that. Even after having a smaller base, it is going much lower than 1%. That means this figure is actually better. Managerial category in 2005 is better. And that's what the question is saying, it is better. So yes, second statement is true. My answer is only Y is true. Only Y is true is the right answer for this question as well. I'm sure that you all have understood this. And this brings us to the last question of the day. That was question number 9. So let's do the last question of the day. That is question number 10 on your screen. It's here now. Can we have an answer for question number 10 as well? Number 10 question. In 2004, the number of candidates offered a job. So now he's shifted to the last column. Number of candidates offered job as a proportion of the number of guys who posted their CVs. It was higher for technical than for managerial, and he's saying it is about 2004. Okay, let's try this as well. He's talking about 2004. The number of candidates offered job as a proportion of CVs posted was higher for technical than for managerial. So what was it for technical and managerial? For technical, the number of candidates offered job, they were 181, whereas who posted their CVs, they were 59981. Whereas for managerial, he says offered jobs were 48 and posted CVs were 15389. So these are the two numbers. And we have to figure out that out of these two numbers, which one is higher and which one is lower. Can I say this one, the first one, is approximately 180 by 60,000? I don't think you will have a problem with this. 181 is very close to 180 and 59981, it's almost 60,000. So what percentage it is? It's exactly 0.3%, right? It is exactly 0.3%. Similarly here, the number is 15389. If I calculate 0.3% of this number, 0.1% of this number is 15.389 or 15.4. So 0.3% will be equal to 46.2. But this is 48. It is higher than 0.3%. So managerial was higher than technical, but question says it was higher for technical than managerial, which is wrong. So this is wrong. In this question, we had to go this close because they were pretty close. As you can see that one is coming out to be approximately 0.35%. The other one is coming out to be approximately 0.3%. When they were this close, we had to calculate. But what did I do? I calculated the one which was easy to calculate, which was 180 by 60,000, 0.3%. For the other one, I just saw whether it is more than 0.3% or less than 0.3%. So rather than calculating 0.3, I calculated 0.3 of denominator, right? And then I saw it is higher or lower. It was not higher. So therefore, I said first statement is false. Tanishk and Sakshi, they both are saying that D is the answer. That means both are false. Let's check second as well. In 2004, among those shortlisted by employers, now he's talking about shortlisted, the technical category had a higher success rate in securing jobs than managerial. So technical category in 2004, it had secured 181 jobs out of 684, whereas managerial had secured 48 jobs out of 138. Is it higher than that? Let's calculate. I would say 48. If I cancel it out, it is 1 upon 48 threes are 144. So it is not even 3. 1 upon something which is less than 3. Whereas 181 upon 684, it is 1 upon something greater than 3. Isn't that? Thrice of 181 is 543. It is more than 3 times of it. It is less than 3 times of it. Denominator of this is smaller. Denominator of this is larger. That means this is value is going to be smaller than the other value. Whereas question says it has higher success rate. So even this is false. First is false, second is false. D is the right answer. They were absolutely correct. Tanishk and Sakshi, they both gave the right answer. The correct answer for the question is option D. That is, neither one of them is true. Though I wanted to discuss the basic terms, but along with that, I wanted to tell you this as well, that these fractional values, their percentage equivalents, calculating fractions, calculating percentages, it's an integral part of DI. Throughout DI, you will see a lot of usage for this. So that's also one part. Of course, I can't teach that here, but I would want all of you to be pretty comfortable with percentages and fractions as well. That's going to help you a lot in these upcoming questions. Okay. That was all for today, guys. And do not forget to join me for the upcoming session as well. I'll be taking a session day after tomorrow too, right? So that is on Friday. Once again, I'll be taking the second part of this, in which I'll be taking some other kind of charts. We'll be discussing the basics of those. So do subscribe to the channel so that you get to know when are we having our next class, and join me there. And we are having this next batch on Unacademy channel, the repeaters reloaded, for all the people who are writing the CAT exam again. So you see all the educators on your screen. You see Shabana ma'am, Ravi sir, Karishma ma'am, Raman sir, Lokesh sir, and along with that Sandeep sir is also there, right? And the USPs of the batch. So just join this batch, subscribe to this, and while joining, you have to use the code Saral, right, to have maximum possible discounts. So whenever you are taking that subscription, he'll be asking you a code. So use code Saral for that. Also, these are the brilliant results that we have produced last year. You can see the percentiles along with the converts. And I would also want more of you on this screen next year. So most of you, of course, can appear here. So join us for that beautiful thing. And we are also helping you with 25,000 plus free question practice on our app. You just have to go to the app, click on practice, and select for which topic you want to prepare from there. So all of them are absolutely free for all of you. That's all from my side, guys. I'm sure this session was useful for you. I'm sure you got something from that which was positive. So, day after tomorrow, that is on Friday, we'll be having another session here that would again be in purely English, and it was the second part of Basics of DI. Do join me on that day. That was all for today. Have a good night now. We'll meet soon, guys. That's all for today. Thank you very much. Good night.